Shall I hold it in my hand?
Oh, I think we can pass it. I can pass it to you in some.
Okay.
Oh, this is just so I have some idea of the time. Thank you very much for giving us some of your time. Antar Dwani, the song within, is an original raga by yourself, and I find it an exceptionally beautiful raga that has the same timeless qualities as the traditional ragas. You've stated that this is generally based perhaps on morning raga and Bhairavi Tat, and I noticed that it seems to have the same swaras as Chandra Khan's with an added komal ray. Is that merely coincidental, or would you say it's...
It's very interesting. Let me tell you actually how this thing happened, how this recording was planned. During that time, many of my listeners around the world were asking me to make a special recording for meditation, which could be used for meditation. Until then, I didn't know that many people were using my music for meditation. Many meditation centers, yoga centers, even people were using my music for healing. And wherever I travel, I come across different kind of people. So this was a request, and I started thinking, and this was a common request from everybody, that there should be a record without tabla, only alap. And a couple of doctors also told me they have used my music of alap part, and it has given very good results. So there's a record company in India, Music Today, and they sometimes do thematic music and different kind of things. I just discussed this idea with them. So they were very much interested to record this type of music. Okay, till then, I had never decided to create a new raga. In fact, I believe there are so many ragas already existing. And in one's lifetime, a musician can have the technical knowledge of those ragas, but cannot master all of them. That is my personal belief. It takes a lifetime to capture the essence of few of the ragas. And I think perhaps that is the reason that most of the musicians have got their favorite ragas. Because it takes lifetime to do that sadhana, to master these ragas. Sadhana means total dedication. What sadhana word is actually used for spirituality. So that was not the idea initially. What happened, one day I was just practicing at home, and we while playing one rag, we change to another rag, we change certain tuning of the notes. Although in my santoor I have got chromatic scale. On the left,
You mean different tunings of the same swara, or
different swaras.
Different swaras,
Huh?
okay.
And although in santoor I have got chromatic scale, on the left side there are all minor notes. And right side of the santoor, where mostly we play, I tune it according to the rag. And the reason is the slide technique which I use for meend, for alap.
Yeah.
So that is more suitable when you play on the same side.
I see. The tremolos that you use to give the vocal quality.
Yeah, yeah. So in the process of going from one rag to the other, I just hit on this scale.
I see.
And I got this scale accidentally. So when I played it, it sounded good.
Yeah.
So I liked it, And I thought, okay, let me try to find out what is the possibilities in this scale. And then, for few days, I was working on that. And then the Arohi and Avrohi, ascending and descending, was decided. I conceptualized that. So while ascending, the Gandhar third note is not used. Sare ma dha ni.
While ascending.
Ascending. And while descending, all the six notes are used. And then in the rag there's a particular phrase of certain swaras or certain notes which creates that rag. So I worked on that. Until then, whenever I used to play it, it used to give me a lot of peace. Those notes, the way I was trying to elaborate those notes.
I have not. I did this morning. I searched, and I have a book of Carnatic ragas. I have not found any Carnatic raga with the same swaras. There is a Denuka Mela, which has two variants, which are somewhat close, but they are not identical. And I think there are very few morning ragas, perhaps, which have the combination of Komal Re, Ma, and Shud Ni. I believe it's. So I thought perhaps it's a variant on Mishra Bharavi, perhaps, but you've explained how it happened, though, so that's better.
You see, then I don't claim that I know each and every rag, but whatever I have heard and known, I felt this scale was different,
Right. Yeah.
the way it is used. And then finally it emerged in the form of a rag. And I got in touch with Music Today. I said, I think I am ready with this, what we wanted to record. So we went, and till then I had not named it. I had not named it because I wasn't thinking on those lines, okay, I'm going to create rag and I'm going to give it name and all that. It just happened. A couple of days before I was going to record it, I felt what kind of effect this rag has on me. So I felt it takes me inward. It's very inward taking music.
Very powerful raga.
So I named it Antardhvani. Antar means the inner self, the sound of the inner self. Antardhvani literally means that.
Does the term Anahata Nada have special significance for you?
Like Anahata Nad. This is Anahata Nad is on what the yogis and the people on the path of meditation, they try to listen to that. Anahata Nad mean a sound which is created without any effort. Ahat Nad and Anahata Nad. Ahat Nad is a sound made out of an effort, vocal or musical. Anahata Nad is within yourself. You can hear it. There are certain kriyas, certain practice of yoga where you can hear that sound. I do. And Antardhvani I felt was the appropriate for this. Now another interesting thing about this music is that after we recorded, it was only Alap Jod Jhala. Then everybody in the studio felt this sounds so good, but this sounds incomplete. One have that urge, there should be a composition. So initial idea was not to have any composition. So then I said, okay, give me some time, and we might, I'll come out with some composition. So after I think a month or so, couple of months, I recorded the other compositions.
The use of the pakawaj is a very nice contrast, and then later on the faster gats you use the tabla. It's a very nice contrast. Relating to what you just spoke of, you project a remarkable sense of transcendental detachment while performing. That is, while your body is clearly functioning in the material world, your thoughts and musical expressions seem to be in the metaphysical world. There seems to be this to a very unusual extent. I believe this relates to what you just said before about yoga, and would you care to add anything to that thought? The sense is that you're clearly performing, and technically it's perfect, yet looking at you, you're so relaxed, it almost seems like you're not playing the instrument, and that you're almost looking down on yourself playing the instrument. Almost like there are two of you.
I think I must say you are the first person interviewing me who has rightly understood this thing. Because people sometimes ask me, what do you feel when you play your music? What do you feel when you finish playing your music? But I think you have understood it. And it doesn't happen every day. But mostly, when I play my music, let me tell you what happens. I come on the stage. I'm conscious about the fact that I am playing for certain people who have come from far and near places. They have got certain expectations from this concert. And I have got to finish my music within a certain period of time. But once I start playing, and everything is okay, there is no distraction. Sound system is perfect, not distracting me. And everything goes well. Then after a while, I forget that I am on the stage. And music for me is meditation. And I don't go on the stage and I don't make an effort that I am an entertainer. I am there to entertain people. I feel music for me is a kind of meditation, is a kind of prayer which gives me a spiritual high. It gives me a kind of bliss which I am sharing with the audience. And that is why what you saw, that is my approach of music, and that is how I feel. And maybe, I don't know, that time my expressions and all these things are different. Sometimes some people come after the concert, they are sitting in the front row, and they say, oh, at that point of time you are looking at me. I said, no. Maybe my eyes are towards some person, but it is there, but physically I am sitting there, but I am somewhere else. And after the concert, if everything goes well, the most difficult part for me is when people come and want to talk to me. And especially sometimes people will come and they are in a rush and they want to interview me immediately after the concert. I am not in a position to talk. It takes me a while to come back to this mundane world after I finished concert, and I come back to my room, and then I can't express the kind of joy, the kind of energy that goes in my body when everything goes well and music is and then when I come back, then I start thinking, okay, how I played, where I goofed up, what happened technically, what was not right. Those things come later on.
I see. I'll move to another subject, and perhaps we can come back to this. For your tuning of the centaur, which is a beautiful part of the performance, as you mentioned last night, you get into the mood of the rag and the feeling of the space and the time. The tuning is clearly very important to you. You're very precise and very careful how you do the tuning. if sa and pa are absolutely fixed, are the other swaras, komal re, re, komal ga, ga, ma, tivra ma, da, komal da, ni, komal ni, are they tuned differently for different ragas? For instance, the re for Dabari may be lower than the re for Durga. Is this true? Do you is this something you're conscious of, or is it just a learned experience?
I think by training, gradually we get used to these notes. When I tune a rag, I just don't tune it sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. I tune it according to the phrases which create that rag. For example, now I'm tuning Purya. Ni ma ga re sa. I will tune ni according to the combination with ma. Ne ma ga re sa. Ma ne ga re no. So I would play that phrase in my mind and first tune those phrases and see how ni in combination to ma sounds. Then you get exact ni which should be used in that and exact madhyam. If you tune it individually, sa re ga ma, then maybe you will not get the exact microtone.
So it's all the relativity.
Yeah. So it's not that this particular note now should be slightly lower individually, no. In combination with other notes which create that rag.
Right. That's what I suspected, that it has to do with the expression rather than an abstract scientific ratio.
Yeah, I think this is how I personally do it. And I think there is some similarity in the chord systems in the Western music. And the notes we use, you see, the Vadi Samvadi is always the fourth note or fifth note. Sama or Repa or Gani. And if you play both together, suppose in our music we do that, as it is done in the Western music, there is some relationship, I think, between these things. About the Vadi Savadi of Indian classical music. This is personally, I feel, I don't know, somebody has done research about it or what it is. You know, Vadi Savadi is very important, and this has got some relationship with the harmony it creates.
Yes, definitely.
So when I tune a rag, I don't, of course, to see the exact tuning, first I tune sa, and the higher sa, and the lower sa. 3 sa I have got. Now, suppose if I am playing a rag in which pancham is used, then next note I would tune is pa. Suppose if I am playing Bhageshwari, after tuning 3 sa, the next note I will tune is ma. Then the next note I will tune is dha. Huh? Ma sa dha ne sa ma ga re. Then I will tune ga and re. I will play that phrase while tuning. And in relationship to other swaras, I tune it, and when the tuning is done like that, then you are getting the exact microtone of that rag.
Right.
And if you tune Bhageshwari like Kafi, sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa, maybe you will not get the correct Gandhar, which is you.
And what I suspect, this is one of the elements which differentiates, the very top maestros like yourself and Zakir Hussain and Hari Prasad and Pandit Jasraj from the very good musicians, but my sense is that their sense of tuning and rhythm and melodic development is not quite as acute as the the very top musicians. And this is something you could add something to, or maybe? I think this is, if you want to analyze what it, also the expression.
Yes, yes.
For instance, when you play the Santur, you get a very full tone without playing loudly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a beautiful thing. Some musicians on, whatever instrument it might be, might play more loudly, but you can get a full tone without playing too loud. Of course, you can play loud.
Yeah. The dynamics is a very subtle thing. It needs that subtle understanding. And no, it's a staccato instrument. Santur. Santur.
Right.
So it's more difficult to give expression to staccato notes. But that is where, how do you hit that particular note and where? If it is near to the bridge, the sound is sharper and more bold. If you just go away to the left of the bridge, in the center, the sound is different. There are very, subtle things.
Yes, graduations.
Yeah, the dynamics, how you create that, and that's very important, and I think that comes with a lot of experience and thought and all that.
The festival in Pune, I have a favorite recording of Konzi Kanada, which you play with Zakir, and there was a noise in the alap, and I couldn't figure out. I still enjoyed the recording. I thought it was a noise from the tape, and finally I was listening in the car, and my friend, she said, "Those are crickets."
Oh.
Do you remember this? Do you remember the sound of crickets while you were playing? And it's a beautiful effect. It goes with the music. Do you recall this? And also, is this festival, I understand it's a very great festival.
Yes, yes.
Perhaps you could comment.
Savai Gandharva Festival is one of the most prestigious festivals in India. And this is organized by legendary vocalist Pandit Bhimsen Joshi in memory of his guru. Savai Gandharva was the name of Bhimsen Joshi ji's guru. And in his memory, last year, they completed 50 years. And I performed last year in the morning session. And, this ambience is different. It's in the open air. And sometimes, it could be distracting also compared to an auditorium, which is air conditioned, soundproof, no other sounds. And here it's in the open. And the number of people ranges between 10 to 15,000. And they stay on all night. And sometimes the cricket, they also come to
Quite loud on this occasion.
They have their own session.
Yeah.
So it could be very distracting. And they started doing this live concert recording, and naturally they captured the sound of other music going on. So, but when we start playing, and the kind of audience is there, and the kind of reaction we get from the audience, no matter if there is some distraction, the musician forgets that. And this music, as I said, is not fixed music that whenever we play, we will play the same thing of the same quality, of the same level of performance. It varies. And the quality of music largely depends on the receptivity of the audience. How are you feeling when you come on the stage, and how people are receiving it? And that is why festivals like Savai Gandharva are a special place for musicians to go and play there. And amongst the listeners, you might find Pandit Bhimsen Joshi himself sitting there, and many other young musicians, music students. They are sitting on the floor, squatting on the floor, and it creates a different kind of atmosphere.
I wanted to ask you, one thing which I feel enhances your performances is the clothing you wear. I hope this is appropriate to ask, but no, it's really I'm not even sure what the shirt you wear is called, but they're always exceptionally fine, and the colors have I think they enhance the music. Do you have your clothes custom made, or a special favorite place you go to, or?
Actually, these kurtas, these clothes are selected by my wife, Manora.
Like the one last night, I've never seen a pattern like this. And it seemed to be very appropriate for sunset. It seemed to have some good colors.
So the clothes are selected by her. Manorma is her name. And I have got a person in Bombay, Madhav's creations, and he designs it. And he designs. Actually, he works for Bollywood people, movie stars and all that. But those clothes are different. What they use for shooting and all that. But he designs, but it's a lot of input is given by my wife, who selects the color and kind of cloth and all that.
Might the colors have any connection to the time of day you're performing?
So
or just the way you feel?
Just the way we feel. And yesterday, in fact, we just arrived from San Francisco, and we hardly had time to have a bite and just get ready. And I just picked up this kurta what I was wearing yesterday, but it went okay.
Do the necklaces and rings you wear, do they have any special significance, perhaps from your guru?
It has a special significance. I'm very fortunate that I'm blessed by Satya Sai Baba. I don't know whether you have heard about him.
I know a little.
So I have been going to Baba for more than 30 years. So time to time, we believe he's an incarnation. That is the kind of experience I have got all these years. Experience of this kind. For example, I'll give you an example. I'm talking to you now. He is sitting in southern India somewhere in a village. He lives there. It could be possible, if I meet him after 3 months, he will exactly narrate that Mike asked you this question and you answered this. This is what I have experienced, his omnipresence. And there are umpteen number of experiences which I personally went through. And these rings what I wear are materialized by him. Now this is something which people who have not experienced will never believe.
Right.
So mostly I don't discuss it.
Right.
But you have asked me this question. So materialized means created from nowhere. These 2 rings are materialized by him.
Looks like aquamarine for us.
Yeah.
And
So
maybe emerald?
this
Or
was
aquamarine?
materialized on Baba's 60th birthday when I performed there. He loves music, and this is which he has changed a number of times. I don't know the name, And the 2 chains I wear, that again are materialized by him. So it's not, I'm not actually fond of wearing these gold things and all these ornaments, but this is a blessing from him. And
I had a feeling there may be some special
so
significance.
this is because after my performance, mostly all these things I got. So when I perform, I feel his presence and I wear it, especially at the time of performance.
what are your feelings towards mortality? Do you believe in reincarnation, immortality? Do you have any thoughts on this, or are they identical to what traditional Hindus believe?
My belief and my background had been like this. There is a difference between being religious and being spiritual. I may not be so religious in my day-to-day behavior. I may not be doing the rituals. Religion is a beautiful thing, but sometimes it's misused. It creates so many problems also. But common factor is, if we forget about the religion, the spirituality, the self is same. For example, I have done some sadhana on this path also. I am trying to know myself. A seeker of this path asks himself the question, who am I?
A seeker of the
spiritual path.
Of the path. Okay.
Who am I? So the question normally in a mundane way is, I am Shivkumar Sharma. But Shivkumar Sharma is this body, not the self. Shivkumar Sharma is the name given by my parents to this body. This body is perishable, but the self is not. So, self is immortal. That never dies. Like I'm wearing this kurta, I can change to another outfit. I can change this outfit of different type, but this body remains same. Same way, the self which is wearing this body can change this body number of times, but remains same. And this is the first question, who am I? So I have so far, now I'm going to be 66, completing 66 in January. I have at least understood this thing very clearly. The Shivkumar Sharma is this body, not the self. And I'm trying to go further and know from where this self comes, that also I know. For example, we all come from the same source. No matter what religion you belong to, what religion I belong to, where we are born, what kind of language we speak, what kind of food we eat, but there is a common factor. Now suppose there is electricity. Electricity comes from a powerhouse. But electricity has got different shapes and forms and different effects. Electricity can give you cool air when it's used in an air condition. It can give you heating when changed. It can give you light of 1000 power bulb or 0 power. It can run factories. It can do so many things. But source is same. It is electricity. It's not water. It's not air. It is electricity. That factor is common. So now all of us, we have got different colors of skin. We speak different languages. Although we have got same kind of limbs, all human beings, but all living beings, no matter if it's lion or mouse or tiger or sparrow or whatever, or human being, one thing is common: the soul is connected to the same powerhouse, which is the ultimate power, spiritual power. You call it God, I call it Bhagwan, Muslim call it Allah. So this is from where I have come. Now there are so many unanswered questions about this factor, and I'm trying to get those answers. And when I play my music, I try to go inward, and I try to go towards this path through music. Because in the ancient times, when you want to know many things, you have to meditate. There are different ways of meditation. Yoga is one thing. Yoga is not only physical exercises. Yoga is much more deeper. And yoga takes you towards this path.
You practice yoga every day?
I try to do it every day. And then, these are different means and ways of finding the answer to these questions. And in the ancient times, seers, sages, they tried to find different means, and one of those things was sound. The chanting of hymns. That was the very beginning in the Vedic period.
The Vedas say the universe began with a sound.
With the sound. And in India we say Nada Brahma. Sound is God. And this is the accepted fact that the universe started with sound. And out of that sound there are two ways, Akshar and Swara. Akshar means language.
Language, right.
There are mantras. We call them Bij mantras. And the greatest Bij mantra is Om. That doesn't belong to any particular religion according to me. There are 7 chakras in our body. When you say Om, Om, it starts from here, it goes up, and then these vibrations of this sound, they give you energy, they hit on your certain chakras. And that was the significance, that through this chanting of this sound, something happens to your body, your chakras are awakened, and you are lifted to another hemisphere. You experience different things. So, sound was used for meditation. Again, to go towards that direction. And then came chanting of mantras. And even if now you come to India, and if you listen to these priests chanting the hymns, they have got 3 notes. Da ra, da ra ra, ra 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 ra, ra ra ra, da ra. These notes are used. So there were not 7 notes. I'm just explaining how this music started.
Started from a smaller kernel.
Yes, and that is why the origin is sound. The origin of the world is sound.
So in a sense, Indian classical music can be a exploration of sound.
That's it.
A highly developed exploration of sound.
Yes.
Which is still going on.
Yes. So then, after centuries of research work and all this, we got this present music, the rag system and all that. But it was sound, and it was used only for meditation. So we are trying, through our music, to find out the answer to many questions.
I see. Do you have any other special interests outside of music and yoga and devotion, hobbies, or what type of exercise exercise do you do?
I mainly do some yoga exercises. I do some pranayam. Pranayam is breathing practices, which is again yoga. There are different types of pranayam,
I can pass it to you.
breathing systems which help you. And besides it's of course spiritual things, philosophy, and all. I'm interested in that. And then the lighter side of life is very important.
Thank you very much.
I like to have a good laugh. I think the spice of
Enter
life
Jwani,
is
the song
to have
within,
sense
is
of
an original raga by yourself. And I
your
find it
sense of
an
human
exceptionally
means.
beautiful raga
You can
that
laugh
has
at
the same
yourself.
timeless qualities as Enter Jwani, you've stated that an original raga by yourself, and I find it an exceptionally beautiful raga at the same time.
Observation is
I noticed that
sometimes
it seems to have the
we are
same
traveling
stars.
together.
You stated
Rahul,
that song
Shafat,
generally
Zakir,
an original
and
morning
you
raga,
see somebody
I find it
and sometimes it's
I
very
noticed
interesting
that
some similarity actually how people living in different continents. Sometimes there are some similarities, and we look at it's very interesting. Let me tell you actually how these things love. And sometimes when I meet different people, that is another of my hobbies. I feel God has given. It's very interesting. Let me tell you actually how this thing happens. Everyone people who are using plant, and when I meet somebody and I talk to somebody, wherever I try to observe what are the yoga. So this was a request. Even good points or some special thing this person has got. And this was a wherever travel. There should be a request. So this was a request. Only meet a person even the intention. This was a common request. So many things from everybody. Wherever if you just observe without only so this was a request, and so there's a record from doctors also. This was a common student part, and there should be so there's a record from Indian, and I tell you doctors also sometimes till then my feeling is normally people say this in India in the West. So they were very in fact I believe that it is spiritual cause. So there's a record from any art form. Okay, till then the Shishya I had students is always technical. In fact, I believe they were very. This is what normally because Shishya in one's life. Till then, very good guru who can guide you technical knowledge. And I feel that is the reason. In fact, guru is also in service of Shishya. It takes which normally he wouldn't get to and if he gets. That's a joy for me. And I think that is the reason to teach that student. And because the Shishya has got the capability to understand what I teach, to master. And so that was not the times I'm trying that what happens to teach. One word is actually used for because there is one who is immediately so that was not the idea, and others are just groping in although one was ours and are not able to understand. Again the difference comes different change to another previous although that was not the idea. Although what happens previous work the right side of the sanskrit were mostly so guru is different for us in search of a proper shishya. Proper shishya has and the reason brought some karmas. Although right side of the sanskrit connects immediately left. I use more suitable only that much is not sufficient. And the reason Shishya must have total. So, in the process of right side, suppose there is a Shishya who is very talented, but doesn't have the will or inclination to work hard. and then it got this scale. Accident. So in the process of going from one to the other, so I liked it. I just did and I just looked at the scale. Yes, find out what the scale. That's very accident. So it's a combination of for a few days, and I liked, and then the I just tried to find out what is the conceptualized scale. And I got then for a few days, I was doing well. And then the Arohi ascending and why try to find out why ascending. The Gandhar, for a few days I was and then the Arohi and while this all this phrase while ascending, which creates whether you have done I work and then whenever I used to play, they will come to an average and while it is an ordinary performance or which creates trying to. So I worked until then, and then whenever in the raga there's a particular and to give me a phrase, if you start thinking, so I worked on that because then you notice whenever I used to play,
I've not found very those notes, the way I was trying to elaborate, has two variants, somewhat close. So I think this morning I searched. I don't believe there are very few. You've not found any Carnatic raga coming that
you see, then I don't claim that I know each but whatever I have heard and known, you see then how I handle I don't claim that I know training I got from my father. Whatever I have heard and known, again it's connected. I felt I got it the way it is. What has happened, and then I don't claim what has happened each emerged, and but 50 years ago, whatever I till then I got in touch. I felt this skill was not because the way I was. So how I handled then we went finally. Till then, I had not praised from different quarters, and I got because I was in this again. I got from my father, so I felt it takes me into spiritual. A couple of days before, till then I had involved. I felt not what kind of if I was so bad. It takes me 50 years. The name involved. I was not known. I felt not which is the winter capital. Forget about that. This is Anahata Nag is involved under the yogi. When I started performing, people on the path of meditation. So there was like a machine. This is Anahata Nag based on what the yogi and the people on the path of meditation try to listen. It's impossible to without this is Anahata Nag and the sound made on the path of meditation. I try to listen to music and another sound I felt was where certain prayers and well trained here after we recorded made I only allowed vocal and this sounds so good but this kind of training only allowed that urge when everybody initial idea was not to have this sounds so good but this was incomplete and one urge that urge only allowed should be accomplished. So after
I think it's
the initial idea was not to have. And then I said, this sounds so good, and but this sounds incomplete. There should be a month or so, couple of months. So initial idea was not to have composition.
Relating to
So then I said, okay, give me some
later on the faster
even on my own,
while your body
is
is
not
clearly
a month or
functioning
so,
in the
talking
world.
with the people.
Relating to
we talk, and then we okay,
if
I was explaining what I do
later on that is while your body is very functioning in the world.
Very clear.
I believe this relates to what you just said before about physical. You project a remarkable sense of. Would you care to add that is while your body is clearly
create.
I believe this relates to what you said before about musical expression, yoga. Would you care to add anything to that?
This is, I got the training from my father, and then I experienced.
I believe this relates to what
I
you
must
said
say,
before.
when I go to a concert, you are the first person interviewing me.
Care to add anything?
Who has, I think, rightly. I must say, you are the first person interviewing me, because people who has when you play, rightly, what do you think, understood. I must say, I think you have understood people ask interviewing, and it doesn't happen every day. What mostly, what do you I am not doing. I come on the stage. I unconscious about the fact that playing wasn't every day. But when I play my music places, I come on the stage from this concert. I'm conscious and I have understood playing for people within a certain period doesn't happen every day. But mostly when they have got expectations from this concert. I come on the stage and I have got I'm conscious about the fact that when I come back within a certain period again, once I start to have gone from everything is places that I am on the stage. They have got expectations and music not distracting, and I have got everything goes well within a certain period of time. I don't go on the stage and everything is learning, and music for me, I am there to sometimes, and I feel I don't go on the side and I don't meditation is the kind of the prayer which and music is time for me. It gives me a kind of I feel music and music kind of don't go, and that is why I don't prayers. That is my approach of spiritual how I feel. It gives me a kind of places that my expression I feel music, and that is why sometimes you saw meditation. That is my learning prayers. How I feel, and maybe I don't know that it gives my kind of expression and all these things. My eyes are towards sometimes, and that is why what you just saw. But that is my approach of this, and sitting there, I feel, and maybe I don't know. And after that, maybe my eyes are more physical. Yes, but different people just have got different sitting there, but playing with you. At that point of time, after the concert, I'm not sure. Maybe my eyes are towards what is my approach. But especially everybody is trying in this there, but immediately comes. I'm not in the concert. Everything goes well. It takes a while. They enjoy the kind of come masters like Ustad to this mundane world. My first try is immediately and then when I come back, organized a festival of India. Come back. in which same evening he used to perform Ustad Ali. When I come back, I was there. Then I started. I can't express how I enjoyed Ustad Ali. What happened? We had about 30 concerts, 40 concerts. That was my first visit in '68. And when I come back, I played with Kishan Maharaji, I played with Anokhe Lalji, I played with Karamatullah Khan, I played with Ahmad Jan Thakur. I have played with a number of Shanta Prasad and later on, Sopan Chaudhary, I have played a lot.
Beautiful part of it you mentioned last night.
But maximum I have played with Zakir.
The tuning is clearly
Maximum I have played with Zakir. And we together, Zakir, the way we connected and the way Zakir understood my music and created a style of accompaniment of tabla with santur. So I think Zakir did something extraordinary. I think by training, gradually we get used to these notes. When I tune a rag, I don't tune it by training. Gradually get used to each one has got their own style. When I tune, for example, I don't tune it. I'm tuning. I tune Puri according to the chord. Gradually get used to certain person. For example, when I tune now I'm tuning. I just don't tune it Puri. I'm tuning ma according to the phrases created. Yeah, I will tune Shafa according to the combination. Now I'm tuning Puri. He has shown so well during all these years. Shafa for the first time. I will tune. Then you get exactly how should play that phrase is different. Individually, in combination, then you get exactly should be. They played. So it's not that if this particular tune now individually you will not in combination exact combination sounds. Then you get exactly. So it's not that this particular should be slightly lower. This is how in combination. I think there is some similarity in the chord system in the Western music. And the notes we use, the voice